Peace and blessings to the chosen. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the icon pushing this truth, sincerity, and charity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. I'm the brother Yalad, and earlier at the last camp recently, this show, The Beauty, was mentioned. And after watching the first episode, I got some things to say on it. So, Lord willing, this be edifying through the Spirit. 1 Timothy 4:8, it says, "For bodily exercise profit little, but having godliness profited unto all things, having the promise of life that now is, and of that which is to come." So, bodily exercise, it profits little. It does. And generally, the point of this show is it's the beauty, right? It's about acquiring a certain virus that makes people look like a Chad, basically. This is what they called it, a Chad. And you had one gentleman in the first episode who he was in a hurt state, man. A hurt state. But I want to say it's not good to take these sketchy routes of trying to make yourself feel better, right? You got to count certain things with cost. So Luke 14:28 says, "For which of you intending to build a tower, sit it not down first and count the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it." And Buddy should have counted the cost as far as what's up with this guy. This guy is sketchy. What does he mean? He has the answer for all my problems. You got to think. In this world, they sell you certain products. They say, "Oh yeah, take this pill, take take this medication, or do this, get liposuction," right? And if you in a state where you feel like you could lose a couple pounds or whatever, and do it the right way. Don't go through the way that these devils profit off of you, okay? Because all them pills, they mess up your liver, okay? You don't want to do all this unnatural stuff that damage you. But it is good to have a sound body. So this is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach 30:14. "Better is the poor being sound and strong constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body." Yeah, it's nothing like being able to go for a run, to go for a little sprint. It's nothing like being able to lift some heavy objects, or being able to do certain things physically with your body. That is a great thing. And then on the flip side of that same coin, you have somebody like Stephen Hawking, who got all that money, but he can't even move his own legs. Might not even be able to feel down there, That's a horrible estate. It says, "There's no riches above a sound body, and a joy above the joy of the heart." It says, "Death is better than the life of continual sickness." And what's gonna happen is, if you continue in your mindset of looking at the bitterness of this life, so-called life, it's gonna lead you to continual sickness. You're gonna get depressed. Skipping down to 21, it says, "Give not thy mind over to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel." So this goes into physicalities, the emotions you deal with, and the mental thoughts you have in your mind, right? Because it says, "The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thine own soul, and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow had killed many, and there is no profit therein." And that guy, he felt really sorry for himself, and granted, he was an incel, but if you in a state of an incel, you gotta think, bro, it's ups and downs to everything. You have to really just consider the fact that you could be dodging crazy bullets. And here it is, buddy. He finally got to knock his socks off, right? And now he has some crazy disease. His first time. His first time, rocking the boots, or however you want to say it. Now he has some crazy disease that's gonna clap him in the end. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You got what you wanted, but you lost what you had. Stop thinking that the grass is so greener on the other side when it's pros and cons to everything. So what? The females curved you. So what? That could be a cannon you getting dodged, man. You could be avoiding a lot of problems, and you downing yourself, inflicting yourself in your own console, talking about, oh, I'm ugly, nobody like me. So what? So what? As long as it that could be a better state than being tricked on, getting put on alimony, child support. That could be a better state than being completely heartbroken after trusting abroad. You don't know what somebody else got worse going on to you. So love your own soul, really. You gotta comfort your heart with the thoughts of the whole field. And that's why I said count the cost. You gotta think things thoroughly. Right? Because these depressing thoughts, where do they come from? Right? It says in 24, it says envy and wrath shorten the life. Carefulness bringing age before the time. Envy and wrath. You envying people on social media. Let me be the first to tell you, all that Instagram, none of that. These people post what they want you to see on social media. They pretend that they happy. Behind closed doors, they the most miserable people, but they posting that they happy. They posting they fancy car that they got. They posting they wedding rings, and they posting they fancy lunch, but behind closed doors, they not gonna show you is the miserable arguments they having with their wife or husband, right? How broken up their house is. Hey, you could be like Will Smith, right? Your wife clapping getting clapped by another dude. Your kids don't like you. They wish Tupac was their daddy. You could be going through what Will Smith going through. All that money he got, and he's still getting punked by a bitch. All that money he got, he could have any woman in the world, and he getting belittled by his and excuse my American, he getting belittled by his bitch, by his bald-headed bitch at that, a demon. So have a cheerful heart, right? It says in verse 25, a cheerful and good heart will have care of his meat and diet, and this all go back to taking care of your body. Think right. You want to shed a couple pounds, you want to look a little bit better, do it the right way. Sleep right, eat right, work out. Them the main things that'll get your body in tune. But if you having a bunch of late night cookies, right, that'll give you some weight. That'll give you some weight right there. Make sure you don't eat before you go to bed. Otherwise, your digestive system working overtime, and all the muscles, the stomach, the the intestines, they're muscles. You're not giving them rest. So now they got to store this excess off as fat. You complain about the things that you don't like, but what are you doing to change them? Is the point in what I'm saying in all of this. And all of it just really goes to your health. Think right in your mind, you know what I'm saying? Deal with your emotions properly. Don't give your mind the heaviness, right? Sirach 37 and 27 says, my son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything. Right. It says, be not insatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats, for excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn to color. By surfeiting have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life. What it mean to surf? That surf. Every time I think about surf, I think about surf and turf. Access of meats, basically. Surfing. And when it says access of meats and it puts surfing in the same sentence, it says surfeiting in the etymology is the access, the quantity, immoderate behavior, unhealthy indulgence. So this is where fast comes into play. And you want to fast before you sleep. That'll shed pounds off of you. That way you wake up, you know what I'm saying? Let a couple hours pass, and then you have breakfast, breakfast. Because what is this surfer to go into? It goes to the gluttony. Exactly. But all of that was really based, everything I said was really based off the first episode of this season of The Beauty. And it is like a good series so far. And Lord willing, I'm going to continue to watch what it has to offer if I had a time on it. But the beauty, the true beauty, come from within, and we'll just get the author of beauty. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Wisdom of Solomon 13:3. Well, whose beauty, if they being delighted, took them to be gods? Let them know how much better the Lord of them is, for the first author of beauty had created them. So the Lord is the author of beauty, man. All right? And he made, it said he made all things perfect. Let me see. Right. So Sirach 42:24. All things are double one against another, and he had made nothing imperfect. So it's a balance to everything. Everything double against another. So whatever negative aspect you feel like you got about yourself is a positive aspect. And you have to think in a positive way and not belittle yourself and not be bashful and to give yourself demoralizing thoughts, right? You have to think better about yourself as a man. You know, even the Elder Murph said, have some confidence. But yeah, knowing that there's a balance and everything, let that add into your understanding. You know, so what? Certain things don't go a certain way. One door closed, another one open up. All right, the Lord make it rain on the just and the unjust. The Lord give and he take away. This too shall fucking pass. All right, so take care of your health, your mind, your body, right? Take care of your health. Take care of yourself. That was generally the brief of this video. And I hope it was edifying. With that, I'm going to sign off and say shalom.